Sup everyone, we're back with more Greatest Attorney 2 Chronicles. Chronicles 2. Anyways, we're on case 3 now. And it's time for us to talk to Gina. Last episode, I went over it very briefly before starting this one because I was too excited to talk to Gina, so I wasn't going to wait. But I realized that the audio problems that I've been having, apparently it happened very briefly. Last episode, twice in fact, as far as I saw. I just kind of skimmed the episode, so I don't know, it might have persisted longer than I thought. But it happened near the end, and it was very brief. I think my mic is just going down the hill right now. So, I don't know, soon I might have to find a replacement, but I just hope that it isn't a consistent problem, and I hope that I can just mostly record normally. Because I ain't really got the spare cash right now, so I'm just gonna work with what I got, I guess. Anyways, let's get to it. Let's see what we can talk to her about. Actually, you know what? Let's get some funny stuff out of the way. Let's present our armbands. This armband is proof, in Japan at least, that I'm a defense lawyer. And this badge is proof that I'm a detective. So you're all gonna have to start calling me Inspector Lestrade. In that case, you'll have to start calling me, well, anything but Odo. I could call you Defendant Naruto if you like. But it don't really trip off the tongue. No, it doesn't have a great ring to it, does it? Listen, I like her nickname for you. It's cute. It's cute and it works. Gina, would you take a look at... Oh, where did it go? Looking for this, Odo? When did she do that? I wonder if you've got anything else to show me, eh? What do you reckon? Give that back first, please. I like her. That's a nice smile. She only used that. She had that smile at the end of case 5, and it's just interesting to see now. Oh, this is very new. I don't think we've ever had a moment where we have to look up and down rather than left and right. Oh, look, what's this? A ripped piece of cloth. It's not like any fabric I've ever seen before. It's very thick and stiff. Yeah, okay. It looks extremely durable. It's canvas, I think, with some sort of rubber backing. And the edges appear to be a bit charred as well. Maybe that means it had something to do with the explosion. Let's make a note of it while Guinea's mid-yawn. Wow. Well, I'm glad to know that I'm not the only one that yawns around here. What's this? For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look. Almost as if there was a fire here or something. Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers, too. Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this would have been. I'm not sure the English are quite that laid back, Bruno. Hard to say. What's this? It looks as though somebody dropped something behind the tree just here. Dropped or hid? What is this? Some part of the machine that exploded? It almost looks like some type of frickin' crossbow. Some, like, very, like, steampunkish one. Maybe it could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps. What's going on here? Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case. Mysterious contraption. Alright. What else we got? Can we talk to them? No? Oh. Crystal Tower. It's certainly an apt name. It was built to be the focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is, being so tall and with all that glass. I can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan. Give it time. There are lots of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum. But I heard you have to queue for 3 hours just to get through the doors. Well, at the moment, the shattered glass from the failed experiment may well be the biggest draw. And thanks to that accident, the whole tower is shut. Suddenly, it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower. Apparently everyone's taken to the skies now to look down on the disaster area from above instead. But there's a 3-hour queue to go up in a balloon now. Londoners must be very patient people. Well, we can clearly look up, so that must mean we can get someone. We can look at the flag, maybe? Oh. This platform must have been set up for the experiment, I suppose. It's very high up. About 30 feet above the ground, apparently. That's what a policeman I just spoke to said. I don't really understand feet very well. We don't use them in Japan. Yeah, metric system kinda weird. Oh yes, sorry, it's about 9 meters. But soon you'll have been in London a year, Bruno. It's time you get used to our measurements. Yes, well... The sin is so tall, the spectators at the front would just have seen a whoa. Nothing else. Sorry. They probably thought they'd secure the best spot to watch from, only to be disappointed. There's a saying in Japan, the darkest spot is right under the lighthouse. I feel like it probably applies here. Probably. I feel like the last thing we ought to examine is... Oh. I've been meaning to ask you for a while now, but what are those funny round blobs floating in the sky? Oh, they're the flying balloons I've been talking about. I want to go up in one so much. I've read about situations like this in a magazine about strange phenomena. Creatures from outer space coming in around flying objects to attack Earth. What? I suppose inhabitants of other planets are bound to be interested in the Great Exhibition. This is it, Iris. It's happening. It's not. Don't worry. I'll explain it all to you later with a nice cup of tea, Bruno. Brianowski is apparently a fan of the supernatural. That's where the cove end up after is the instant kinesis or whatever they call it. Dead, of course. And yet they're calling the experiment a success? What's the wooden scaffold there for? The coppers, our lads, set it up after the incident happened. To get the body down, I think. Don't know, really. Didn't you help to erect the scaffold, then? Nah. Lookout duty's more my thing. Wandering around the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff. Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that, or he'll give you the boot. It's incredible, though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? Who knows? I think that's everything we gotta examine. Maybe one other thing. Here we go. These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted. Wait, no, I didn't want to go up yet. I want to talk to... Ah, shit. I didn't think that would actually bring me up here. I want to talk to Gina. Fine, the Great Exhibition Grounds, experimentation stage. So that's it, is it? The machine that blew up. Ooh, it must have been a magnificent explosion, and I've seen my fair share. You've seen things like this before, you mean? Of course, Hurley's always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry. Ah, that might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs. Well, they do say that hot air rises. One time he made something that exploded with such force it took the roof off the building. I wish you'd been there to see it, Reno. It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof. Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate. Gregson? There he is. Ah, look, Inspector Gregson's over there. He seems to be deep in thought about something, whilst eyeing up the machine carefully. Really? He just looks confused to me. Ba-da-do-do-do-do-do. I am moving back downstairs. Wait, can I... examine? Can I go back? Can I go back down? No? I wanted to go back down. Game, please. Maybe I can... Oh my god, he's just standing there menacingly. Will this work? Okay, it does. Good. Sorry, I want to talk to you first. Got a lot to talk about. It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina, in connection with a case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder. I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realized I couldn't go on like I was. The Darwin weren't working out. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Guinea. Well done. So, you went from being a pickpocket to a detective? You got it. Good, innit? Inspector Lestrade. Sound like something out of a book, yeah? Talk about a sea change. And then there's Iris's old man to think about. Iris's father, you mean? Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces around the world to pull out all the stops looking for him. Just a small promise, then. Nothing serious. Oh, Guinea, you're so sweet. So anyway, that's how I had to go with the test for Scotland Yard. Only trouble is I don't read so well, do I? Just a small problem, nothing serious. And that's when Hurley approached Gregsy and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Guinea and made her a sort of apprentice. That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson, and brave. Well, you know Hurley. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants. Great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words. So, the long and short of it is, if you got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade. Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there? Ooh, what, Reno? What? Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper. Oh, right. A trial in which she was found not guilty, and yet here she is still. Come on, you're not still on about that, are you? The Legend of the Reaper, or whatever it's called. Cool, you don't have to worry, Odo. If I didn't have to worry, there wouldn't be a whole lot of you left. It's like I told you before, innit? The Reaper's kinda like him upstairs. So he knows what I'm like on the inside. That I ain't really done nothing wrong. It's a real good smug face. Nothing wrong might be stretching a point. What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he? Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought. Exactly. So I ain't worried, I'm fine. Man. Cool, it was out of this world, it was. The brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers on his machine and suddenly it started billowing smoke. Man. Sounds like it would have been quite a blast. Bad joke, I'm sorry. Then it just went pop. I ain't seen a better experiment here yet. Sorry. You mean you saw it, Guinea? With your own eyes? With your own eyes? Yeah, of course, the boss is in charge here, ain't he? Of keeping everything running smooth, I mean. The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. That's gonna take some getting used to. Yeah, for real. Especially because the two of them were on the frickin' witness stand together a while back. So all I have to say is that I'm on duty and I can do whatever I want to. Get this, I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above. No, you're so lucky, Guinea. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too. Yeah, do it. You know how to put the boss in his place already, right, Iris? You know, no trouble at all. Then it's settled. When do I start? No, you can't join Scotland Yard, Iris. We'll see. Anyway, what I don't understand is this. The machine exploded so spectacularly. How can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success? Oh, right. Well, it was a success in a way. What, did the frickin' corpse get blasted to the crystal tower? It was? How could it have been? Successful experiment? Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success. It's like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke in that whopping Great Bane. Whopping Great Bane. But where do you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the crystal tower over there. What? In the tower? Oh shit, I was right, it actually got blasted over there. You can see for yourself, can't you? Up there by the above the scaffold. Oh, well, the glass is broken, you mean? Yeah, the cage what the victim got in to start with. Really did get beamed through the air or whatever and it landed all the way over there. So, you see, it did kind of work, didn't it? What? I don't believe it. I mean, I don't get the ins and out of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Oh, I tell you what, you can have this. It's a plan of the experiment they drew up at the yard. Are you sure? Yeah, go on. I had 3 bob off you before, so fair's fair. Yes, I didn't actually give that to you, did I? Well, at least she made it for a fair trade. Even if we technically did have to bribe... Would that technically be bribery? In order to get a freaking sketch? I don't know. We'll look at it in a bit, but let's talk to her about the last thing here. Let's talk about the investigation, shall we? Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange. For what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us. Are they not in charge of the crime scene or something? Yes, naughty old Gregsy ran off after that without explaining himself. Oh, right, that. The boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday. Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant. In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations? Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate either. Why? What did the boss call them again? The forensic investigation team, I think. Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, innit? So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate. Yes, I've never heard something like that before. I thought I could have a gander on the quiet though, but the boss caught me at it. You probably heard him giving me an earful about it before from down here, didn't you? It's not bleeding fair. I think you were giving him as much of an earful back as I remember it. Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips what make him so stubborn. You say something to him, Odo. Go on, see if you can get through to him. He's up on the platform above us, is he? Or the machine that exploded is. We can try, can't we, Reno? Craigsy will listen to us. Alright, it's been great talking to you, girl. Let's examine this real quick. Okay, so clearly the ray is pointed up here, so you would think that it was meant to go to the top of the crystal tower, or close to it, but instead they ended up, like, I don't know, like right here or something like that. So clearly it didn't go as planned. Huh. This really does look like it would be some type of crossbow. Look at it, it's got like a trigger or something. It's got a place here that you could put an arrow. I don't know. There's a lot to examine here. Doesn't look like there's currently anything to examine though, so guess we're just gonna have to leave that. I said leave that. Anything on the other side here? Doesn't look like it. It looks like layers of thick canvas is the thick rubber lining of sorts. I've never seen anything like it before. But applying Mr. Sholmes' methods, I might deduce it was part of a raincoat worn by someone who really didn't want to get wet. And the charring must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning. Or maybe not. I'm not really good at... I'm not as good at this as Sholmes. What am I... Who am I kidding myself? Okay, let's head back up this time. For real. Well, there's certainly a lot of stuff on the ground here. Oh, Ferris wheel. What is that gigantic thing over there? Looks like an enormous water wheel. Ninokata! Mizukurama! Oh, that's a Ferris wheel. There'll be people riding inside those little cabins you can see. Why? Well, they rotate nice and slowly, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery. Wait, it's turning? But it looks completely still. Yes, that's because it's turning so slowly. One complete revolution takes about half an hour. If you were man enough to go in one, it would be more for fun to whiz around fast, don't you think? I feel as though you might have just invented a new sort of ride there, Runo. Don't worry. Ryunosuke will invent the roller coaster. What's this over here? There are all sorts of strange buildings here in the Great Exhibition Grounds, aren't there? I seem to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan one time. Oh, in your country, Runo. I do wish I could go and see it. I'd present a particularly steely samurai with the present of one of Heli's stories I'd written especially. Steely samurai. Nice one. And see if I couldn't get Hurley into a jam against some... Barititsu Master Ninjas into a jam and ninja. I get it. You might not find as many of those sorts of people around as you think. Oh, well that's dull. Ooh, but I do know a prosecutor with the Chonmage top knot I can introduce you to. Haha, not anymore. A Chonmage? Really? Do you think I could have my picture taken with him, do you? Assuming he's recovered from the trim Kazuya gave him a year ago, yes. Insert flashback to case 1 of this game. When he frickin' cut off the bud. Ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it? Magnificently and mercilessly. So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air. Yes, beamed. Not blasted, that's the point. No, they got beams, they got completely decimated. Yes, that part's crucial, really. It's like getting beamed in a fighting game. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris? Did I say fighting game? I meant to say FPS. First-person shooter. Apex. I don't know. Oh, Reno, I'm just a child. How should I know? A child when it suits you, you mean? From what I can tell, I think if you were to put... Stop! Don't touch that! That was practically instantaneous kinesis the way you flew over here just now, Gregsy. Please, your ladyship, I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here. So sorry, you can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it. Glug, 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 glug. Oh. Oh, wonderful. This stuff really is wonderful. Just like old times, this is. Back in Case 5. I'm not going to be able to say back in Case 5 for long because of when we get to the end of this game. We're representing Professor Hairbrain in court tomorrow, Inspector. So we should be allowed to examine the scene. Huh. Listen, Sunshine, even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's that blasted Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act to blame. It's driving me potty. Oh yes, that special dispensation. The professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing out sometimes. But we're allowed to just look, aren't we? Surely that's alright, isn't it, Gregsy? Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. And please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will you? Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Bruno? She really knows how to get what she wants. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Let's talk to you. Government policy. Using high-voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body. And then beam him across to the Crystal Tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. True, it was by far the most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition, mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean. The government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the odds spot of public safety infringements. If they can be the first to develop some new technology, it makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see. Yes, I suppose that's true in a way. So the powers that be are... Yes, and a heavy emphasis on scientists' rights at the moment. What sort of rights? They're making it so that any theories the brains have remain their legal property, as it were. Right through developing it into a practical idea and even going into production. Which is the infuriating reason us coppers aren't allowed to touch the crime scene. Because the new Falutin Special I can't speak this word. Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act forbids it. Ah, I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are from some brand new department at the yard. The Forensic Investigation Team, it's called. We've been relegated to keeping guard. The Forensic Investigation Team. I wonder if we're going to meet a member of them. Any old fool can see that this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. But just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it. Poor Gregsy. He's very het up, isn't he? Het. Special dispensation. Dispensation. Remind me again, what's this new legal act that means we're not allowed to touch the scene here? Are you having me, sunshine? It's the Special Dispensation for a Scientific Equipment Act. It's real hard to say, so stop making me say it. Yes, I think Hurley mentioned that recently, with a real twinkle in his eye, I remember. I'm sure he did, your ladyship, I'm sure he did. Perhaps especially before this great exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas, or inventions, to some suits in the civil service. And if it gets rubber stamped, that's a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. What does that really mean? Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at this exhibition. Oh, the good half of them are a load of cobblers, if you ask me, put forward by shammers like yourself. Thanks for that. Oh, I love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's all so fun. Might be fun to you, but a member of the force has to be present in every single demonstration. Can you imagine it? Haines science, that's what I say. Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job. You'd soon think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shammers' bogus contraptions. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Yeah, well, there is a point, sadly. Sorry? Thanks to another of our government's bright ideas. If any theory or invention is deemed to show potential, the government hands out a research grant. Scientists get funding? Exactly, and that's what they're all after. All these shammers coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And who has to keep them all safe, Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Us coppers, that's who. So we can see why I say it now, can't ya? Haines science, ain't it? Oh, maybe I can see a point. Sorry, I was getting a drink of water. Professor Harebrain. Apparently Professor Harebrain lives and works in Germany now conducting his research.
That's right, came back to Britain especially for the Great Exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grants. Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today. About his time in further education. Turns out he was at a university with someone we both know. Lord Van Zykes. What's that? That's news to me. But if Van Zykes means the prosecution, then as the accused, the professor's fate is... sealed? Because the Reaper will get him one way or another. Blimey, that man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that head of his. Talking of Van Zykes, this morning's paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that.
Oh yes, but Mr. Reaper's completely fine. Nothing to worry about.
Yes, right. Glad to hear it. Still, the Reaper, huh? How long's that business gonna keep up, I wonder?
Mystery of the Reaper. The victim of this case, the investor Mr. Asman. He was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. Sorry. It's getting late here.
Lord Barrick von Zykes is a top-class prosecutor. But even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice just can't win. Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified.
And that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it?
Obviously, Scotland Yard expected von Zykes initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands if he failed to seal the deal in court.
Although the man himself denies that charge.
Well, we've done a very thorough investigation, and the conclusion we reached is that Lord Van Zykes is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom.
I feel like it's gotta be more than coincidence, though. Someone's gotta be killing all of these people after they leave. It's gotta be like some type of conspiracy, I would think.
There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it, I would.
But if that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants couldn't have just coincidentally died if nobody killed them.
I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper.
Professor Harebrain mentioned something else. He said that at university, Lord Van Zykes was a totally different person. Easygoing and kind.
You what?
He said that it was after they both graduated that something happened to change the man. Do you have any idea what it was?
No clue.
Really?
Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene.
You know, the lower of the hat seems very ominous. I feel like he knows something. Just a hunch.
Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh?
Doo-doo. Yadan. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Harebrain was lucky enough to escape unscathed, I'd say. We should have a good look around the machine while we can, I think.
Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, you hear?
I won't touch a thing, I promise, so please spare a thought for your digestion. Anyway, do you really think this machine could actually disassemble people like the professor claims?
He asked, looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, Sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't, can we?
Because of the annoying rules, you mean?
Exactly, the annoying, obstructive, flaming rules.
Oh, look at the base of the machine there.
Oh yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh.
It's a screwdriver, I think. Oh, it has an A. It has an A shape on it.
Oh, isn't it a lovely one? The handle is in the shape of a capital letter A.
Is it? Oh, yes, you're right.
What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said. Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, I said.
Yes, I understand. Sorry. Only touch it a teeny weeny bit.
teensy weensy bit. Sumo turtle. But Gregsy, I'm very curious about the screwdriver. Really very curious. How curious? Your ladyship. You're so clever, your ladyship. I fancy spotting something like that. Little Gwegsy Wegsy needs to go and take care of his quimey-wimey seeny.
But I'm afraid I can't let you have it.
Ah, phooey, but Reno found it first.
I assure you I'll investigate it thoroughly. Okay. He's gone off with it.
That was very mean, I'm afraid. Inspector Gregson is going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now.
Poor Gregsy. Is he gone? Oh, doesn't look like it. Right, are you done here, Mr. Norohodo?
Sorry?
Isn't it about time you were leaving? Or rather, it is about time you were leaving. That lot are here now. Oh, is it time to see the investigation team?
That lot?
The forensic investigation team. They'll be giving me the heave-ho in a minute, too.
Oh dear, poor Gregsy. Here, have another cup of my special blend to cheer you up.
Dun, 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 dun. That hit the spot. Yep, hits every time.
Oh boy. Well, at least I've seen the crime scene with my own eyes. Looks like this is as far as we're going to get with our investigations here, at least. I've been thinking. Helly might know something, mightn't he?
About what?
About Mr. Reaper.
About what happened to Lord Von Zykes, you mean? Because it sounded like something very significant occurred after we graduated from university. Something that completely changed his life.
Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Mr. Sholmes at the moment. He's in the middle of some big case, isn't he? Here, this is what you need.
What's this? Some kind of entrance ticket? Madame Tussauds. Is this supposed to mean something to me?
You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. We could go now if you like.
No, we don't have time for visiting attractions today, Iris. We have a big trial tomorrow.
But that's where Hurley is.
What? At this popular London attraction?
Yes.
How is it that you know where he is?
Hurley told me, but he told me to keep it a secret from you, Reno.
Madame Tussauds? I don't see how it could be related to the case we're investigating here, but then... stranger things have happened, and when they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of them. Alright. I just want to see what happens if we look up. Whoa. An amazing horn-shaped device is pointing towards the Crystal Tower. I suppose once people are disassembled by the machine, they're shot out of that thing to wherever they're going.
I don't think it was supposed to shoot anything, Reno. It was set up to beam people to the Crystal Tower where they'd be reconstructed in their original form.
Well, I don't like the look of it. If it was amazing as it looks, the accident wouldn't have happened in the first place, of course.
I suppose that's true, yes.
But nothing ever goes according to plan, does it? Alright. We got a new place, Madame Tussauds. Madame Tussauds. A museum of interesting waxwork exhibits not far from Baker Street. Okay. Let's head over real quick, shall we? Wonder what this place looks like. 22nd October. Madame Tussauds Museum of Waxworks. Whoa. 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 What is this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes. Why are all these people so still? Guillotines? Ruthless murders? I know what I'll be dreaming about tonight.
They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Reno? Shocked? Wax models? I read about dead bodies in wax once in a magazine about strange phenomena. Man, what have you been reading in the months that you haven't been allowed to work, Renosuke? Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them can turn to wax, apparently. It's called an adipocere? Adipocere? I don't know. Stop talking about creepy things like that, Reno. You're scaring me. Anyway, adipocere isn't... Let me read that. Doesn't form readily, you know. It's only in very specific... Ah! What now? I've just remembered something else I read in another magazine about strange phenomena. He's starting to sound like Soseki because of how worried he is. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display. None of the exhibits in here are real. They're all entirely man-made replicas. Huh. They can't be. Do you really expect me to believe that? Just look at them. Oh. Look at that. I saw Bobby. Oh my fucking god. There's no way anyone can make models of people that are this realistic.
Yeah, I know. Look at... That's way too realistic over there. And through all such gruesome scenes. Wait.
What is it? Oh. No. I must be seeing things. I see something extremely worrying right here. I can't tell if that's a wax figure or someone's corpse. This place in general is real creepy. I don't like this. Who are you? You look like you could be related to frickin'... what was his name? You. These models are so well made, I can't tell what's a waxwork and what's a real human. Or maybe, all of the exhibits are real people. And when it's closing time and all the visitors have gone home, they suddenly start moving about. What is this, night at the museum? Just thinking about it makes me wish it was closing time already and I was on my way home. I'm pretty sure that's a real person, though. Both of these two, I think, are real people. Especially this dude, because he looks too similar to the Bobbies. You know, Pat and Roll? Pat and Rolly, I mean. That looks... I'm not hallucinating, right? That is the same, scarf. At least I think so. Oh, that's a funny place for a little ladder. Oh my god. What is it? Is something wrong? No, it's just that in Japanese we have a totally different word for a ladder that folds in half like that. We do in English too, you know. It's a step ladder, or just steps. So be careful making assumptions about other cultures, Bruno. That's how wars are started. God, I'm glad that that reference exists. I didn't realize stepladders were an international point of contention, but the writer makes an astute point. Oh, I'm sad I didn't get a freaking special an achievement for that. Is this an example of Western's Sujigiri? I don't know what that is. You know, when an unscrupulous samurai randomly attacks a passerby to test his sword. I still don't know. No. Yeah, I've never heard of that. But actually, a waxwork samurai would probably be hugely popular. Could you model it, do you think, Reno? Doing that Sujigiri thing you mentioned? Well, I do have a sword, but I have no intention of testing how sharp it is on a human subject. For now, at least. Okay. Well, let's examine everything but the obvious here. Then we'll take care of the obvious next time. Bath. Is this some infamous murder? Yes, called Jane the Ripper. All her victims were young women. Jane the Ripper. Not to be confused with Jack the Ripper. And not to be confused with Raiden from Metal Gear. I knew it. You could tell by the way she's holding that knife. Sure son of a murderer. Murderer. I can't do a good impression of the conductor. Well, yes. Ah! What's the matter, Bruno? I've worked it out. I know what she's doing. She's trying to fill that bathtub with blood so she can have a soak in her victim's gore. Not according to the information about the exhibition on the little board there. Doesn't mention anything about the bathtub. Really? Sorry, I don't think it's significant. Still think it has to be there for a reason. Oh man. I thought that the bathtub was going to be its own thing. I will admit this with Jane the Ripper does look pretty hot, not gonna lie. Do I dare examine this before I examine Sholmes? This would get us on a tangent. You know what? Nah. Oh shit. Fuck it, we'll do it. The big heavy curtain is in a very prominent position, isn't it? I have a nasty feeling there's going to be something truly terrifying behind it. Oh yes, that's the famous Tussauds special exhibit. It depicts one of the England's most notorious killers. Do you want to pay the extra fee and have a look? Pay more money to be even more terrified? Ooh, let me think about that for a moment. It was only a suggestion. Oh, cool. Is this an arm? It looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the waxwork models has fallen over. You don't think it'd be the work of one of the mass murderers in here, do you? Bruno, stop scaring me. Is it a wax arm or a real one? Come on, you'll always point to that finger of yours in court. Poke that arm now and see how it feels. Objection. The dog got cold to a lot of... I can't tell if that's wax or not, honestly. But, I don't know, the texture looks human. I'm like, it looks... I don't know, it looks like a different art style, so stuff like this. Or stuff like this. Looks similar to this, but not quite. God. I don't know. Next time on Great Ace Attorney 2, we're going to talk to this mysterious wax figure over here. It looks extremely familiar, but I can't tell you as to why. So yeah, next time we do that, and we try to figure out what the hell's going on here in this place. Adios, ciao, and bye-bye. Signing off until next time. Ja, matane. And I hope that there isn't audio problems this time.